Okay, thanks for joining me today. Welcome to the Quiet Signal. Welcome to the Quiet Signal. Okay, what we're doing today is we are talking about The Simpsons, and specifically a particular Simpsons episode called Homer the Great. It's kind of an iconic episode. It's a real classic. Originally aired on January 8th, 1995. It's quite a ways in the past, isn't it? That's like 30 years old. That's crazy. It was written by John Swartzwelder and directed by Jim Reardon. And the episode is all about Homer becoming a member of a secretive organization called the Stonecutters, an obvious parody of real-world secret societies, the name, of course, alluding to Freemasons, but they take elements from like Skull and Bones and other exclusive fraternal orders as well. The episode starts where Homer notices that Lenny and Carl are benefiting from mysterious privileges, like better cafeteria food and private restrooms. And he asks them about it, but they refuse to explain what's going on, why they're getting such privileged treatment. Eventually, Homer is able to discover the Stonecutters, which is a secret society in Springfield, composed of their elite, like people like local politicians, businessmen, celebrities, and then humorously, some of Homer's closest acquaintances. Homer then begs to join, and discovers that his father is already a member, which allows Homer to have membership. That's a kind of key component. There's elements of that. Legacy is a factor with many of these groups in real life. So that is a key component that his father is already a part of it. The initiation consists of bizarre rites, robes, chanting, and secret handshakes. Once Homer is a member, he enjoys many perks, like access to exclusive parties, lavish meals, and special privileges around Springfield. Although, Homer realizes very quickly that there is a hierarchy to this group, and he is at the bottom of it. During a ceremonial feast, the Stonecutters discover a sacred birthmark on Homer's body, marking him as the Chosen One, the prophesized leader of the entire order. Overnight, Homer rises to power, and he implements ridiculous reforms, abuses his authority, and attempts to make the Stonecutters more publicly beneficial instead of self-serving. Homer's leadership quickly alienates everyone, and then the members become frustrated with his rules and start a new secret society, showing how these groups have natural schisms. And they create their secret society called the Ancient Mystic Society of No Homers. This makes Homer an outcast again, and pushes him back to returning back to his normal life. So Stonecutters, obviously, they're a satire of things like the Freemasons, Illuminati, and other exclusive clubs. And it covers, kind of a commentary about Homer's rise and fall, and how people would handle sudden influence. The Eye of Providence pops up throughout the show. There's lots of parallels to the Freemasons' rituals, handshakes, and coded phrases. And it comments on how powerful people form exclusive networks in order to maintain control. One of the main elements of this episode is the Stonecutters song, but the episode airing in 1995, which is when Freemason, Bilderberg, and secret society chatter was bubbling in alternative media before a widespread internet conspiracy culture took hold. Which is significant because The Simpsons often embed hidden truths in satire, and this episode taps into deep themes about hidden control networks. It is interesting to me how it seemingly is intentionally provoked, and Homer's baited into discovering it in a way that it feels like he organically found it, but the group itself is actually exposing themselves to him. Similar to Bill Hartford in Eyes Wide Shut, where it's commonly speculated that he didn't accidentally end up at the crazy party that he ends up at, but that that group was intentionally baiting him into the situation that he ends up finding himself in, which, you know, is commonly the case with these groups, that they orchestrate what feels like a natural revelation to the individual, but it's actually all planned out for them to discover the group in the first place. And that's part of like trying to invite someone into the group, like tapping someone in without them realizing that they were even tapped. And then after, you know, joining this group, Homer discovers, you know, that the mayor, Mr. Burns, the you know, Springfield doctor, Krusty Clown, who's big like entertainment figure, and I think the like principal and the law enforcement or whatever are also, like, one of the police officers is in the group, and you kind of discover like, oh, like, you know, all of these people of influence are secretly connected, and they have kind of this shadow cult of influence throughout the town. And then the initiation ritual, you know, is a spoof of a lot of the Freemason initiation steps, like learning secret handshakes, going through like public humiliation as a loyalty test. Everyone's obsessed about the humiliation rituals these days. And then making sure to swear that they would defend any fellow members at, you know, any cost. There's that classic like French movie that goes over this with actual like Freemasonry, and shows how like they'll protect their own even if they do something wrong. Also unveils like a secret nepotism that exists. As well as a familial nepotism to gain access or to join the group, right? Because Homer's father is a member already, that allows him access a little bit easier than Homer's, you know, leadership and downfall. He, you know, trips into this chosen one prophecy that allows him to gain power, and with that power he wants to benefit humanity or the public. And so he like wants to build like playgrounds and organize food drives. And if you look at things like the Shriners and I don't know if the Jesters are really actually public, but there's a lot of like Freemasonry charity stuff that's run in real life. I think that's all like Blue Lodge sort of level stuff, but not that I know anything about that. And then the members hate that Homer is reforming the whole thing. The whole point was the power and the perks for them. They're not excited about helping like the community and stuff, which is a curious commentary, because I guess it's just strange to frame the incentives of like the Stonecutters as being negative, where the public counterpart is very explicit that you are not to join for personal benefit, I guess, as far as I'm aware. Although, you know, in real life people do seem to notice that you do just naturally benefit, and it is good for business to be a part of a group like that. So it's just curious to kind of critique the personal motivations of the members and the actual stated values of the group or whatever. And with Homer's, you know, reforming, it creates a schism, and the entire group leaves, goes and starts a new organization. And if you look at the song, there's some interesting things in there, like the line "Who controls the British crown," which is a reference to how Freemasons influence the British monarchy. There's claims that Masonic lodges infiltrated royal circles since the 1700s. There's also a line, "Who keeps the metric system down?" And the conspiracy angle on that is that powerful industries want to, you know, block metric adoption to maintain economic advantage. There's also, you know, people love playing with numbers. There's a lot of number magic sort of stuff. You know, saying, I don't know if comparing it to gematria is appropriate, but you know, they run different numbers for more esoteric reasons. and not using the metric system, which, rationally makes a lot more sense to regular people. The other system might have kind of secret meaning or power. That's just kind of like the conspiracy aspect of it, that there's number magic going on. You'll commonly hear, when you get into schizo territory, about like how there should be 13 months, etc., and that it's a way to maintain control by not allowing people to have like the proper calendar or the proper measuring systems, really, because so that you can maintain your kind of secret power using like your secret numbers. Really, really baseline. It's probably something to explore more about, all the different number sort of things in that sort of conspiracy angle. Another line: who keeps Atlantis off the maps? Which a lot of these groups end up leading back to Atlantis. A lot of people secretly believe in Atlantis, or have like these sort of Atlantean myths that they subscribe to inside a lot of these secret societies. There's kind of ideas that these groups are maintaining the secret knowledge from a past Atlantean high-level civilization that's been lost to history, and then after like some cataclysm, but then they want to hide that history so that they can maintain power. I don't know, but Atlantis is tied with the schizo stuff. Interestingly enough, I think there's a Masters of Atlantis or Master of Atlantis movie that Michael Cera is producing. That'll be something to watch or pay attention to. But the Atlantean myths are always interesting, especially the ones that come out of these secret society groups. Another line: who keeps the Martians under wraps? References the government UFO secrecy, echoing Roswell and Area 51 speculation. Sure, that's an aspect of it. I kind of would more lean to like, who are the secret masters of these groups? It's speculated that they interface with other entities, and that could be Martians, could be like aliens, could be the Atlanteans. That's who's kind of secretly pulling the strings, using humans, us mere mortals, and recruiting them into secret societies in order to work in the shadows, be the secret advisor to humanity, making sure to maintain order and peace without like revealing yourself and exposing yourself to like danger or concern. And that, is the idea the aliens are extra dimensional, and that means like that they're demons or angels or jinn or archons or whatever. And those, kind of overlap with the Nephilim, and that's like what the Atlanteans were, which were also Martians, and they kind of overlap, and then are secretly attached to these secret societies. But who knows? Who rigs every Oscar night? So yeah, I mean, that makes me think about Harvey Weinstein, and there are, I think, a few pieces that you can look into about Harvey Weinstein and how he intentionally, like, he built movies around winning Academy Awards, and then would run marketing campaigns specifically for Academy Awards. He would like lobby the agencies or the organizations or the Academy itself in order to kind of like, he was kind of a bit of a kingmaker for actors and stuff. I mean, you have Meryl Streep thinking Harvey Weinstein as God, like referring to Harvey Weinstein as God. And Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, many people praising Harvey Weinstein because he knew how to get his actors on the Academy Award stage, holding an Oscar. So I don't know why I say that right away, but I think, but if you look at film and the imagery in it, you see references and allusions all the time. I mean, there's symbolism in music, obviously, right? Like all this sort of stuff, this old religion stuff that ties into the belief systems of these secret societies is constantly alluded to. So it makes sense that they kind of run the insider politics of Hollywood. Who keeps the electric car from being a reality is another line, classic. I mean, in 95, GM, axed its EV1 electric car program. They've had, I mean, there's individuals, there's people that have invented, water cars. There's a few cases I think of, like a guy invents a water car and dies. There's one very famous one where the guy like goes to a diner and then runs out of the diner like yelling that he was poisoned and that they got him or killed him after being visited by two suits who I think were related. Again, as always, all these episodes, I'm just handing you the thread. You have to go pull it. But there's numerous cases of strange subversion or just outright inexplicable reasons for innovations being shut down or stopped. Classic, schizo stuff. Another line: who robs cavefish of their sight? My note says that's written to be absurd on purpose. And the whole point is that when you mix real truths with nonsense, it allows for skeptics to dismiss the whole package, right? So if you throw in just craziness and nonsense into the group, similar to like, what is it, when Russian jet fighters put a gorilla mask on so that American pilots sound crazy when they describe like what they saw up there, or when you look at maybe something more in the news right now with maybe the major I don't know, there's accusations about a guy trafficking people, but some of the people that claim to be trafficked end up being proven as not being credible, and because they end up being absurd, proven liars who engage in deep and crazy conspiracy theory, it creates a sort of discrediting effect to the entire story as a whole. Maybe maybe there is something about, there's some sort of esoteric code of like what a cave fish is, and robbing them of their sight, like keeping people blind or something. And then of course they say we do all the time in the song. And there's a ton of like symbolism throughout the episode. So their logo is, they've got like the eye in the pyramid, eye of Providence, Illuminati reference sort of stuff, two hammers, which is like the Freemasons like working tools, right? They're the Stonecutters, the Freemasons have like the square and compass or whatever. Inside the lodge, they have like murals of major world events, like there's JFK conspiracy like nod in there, and moon landing stuff. Like the lodge number that they go to is number 9, which there's lore about 9 unknown people protecting knowledge, stuff like that. 9 breaks up into 3 threes and kind of creates like I guess there's just a lot of power with 9. Inside other things in the episode, Mr. Burns suggests he's not on top of the pyramid despite his wealth, like that it's these clubs are not strictly influenced by public money. People that are known to be rich are not necessarily the ones running these sort of like esoteric secret societies. But that's what I've got for you on the Stonecutters. Let me know if I missed anything, if there's anything I'm getting wrong. If you have any insights, I'd be happy to hear them. There's also an episode of SpongeBob called the Cephalopod Lodge, and there's kind of a similar take or satire that they try with that. But yeah, thank you. That's what I've got today. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think.